Hi everyone, welcome to Honey Drops Tarot. This is a reading for the sign of Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus. Pisces, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for all of your likes, shares, and subscribes. I truly appreciate it. Just a quick note, please do not fall for any scammers. I will never reach out to solicit for a private reading. I do offer private readings, and if you're interested in signing up for one of those or in making a donation, the information regarding that can be found in the About section of my YouTube page, and I thank you so much in advance. Pisces, I'm doing a special bonus reading today, all about your quantum jump. Quantum leaping, what does that mean? It means that I feel as though people are going through this transitional phase where they're literally stepping into another higher version of themselves. And so I wanted to bring that message from Spirit today. The crystal that I have on my desk for your reading and for this series of readings is a really beautiful one. It's one of my oldest crystals in my collection. It's like one of the first I ever bought, and it's called Super 7. So there's 7 different kinds of crystals in this one piece, and there's a beautiful kind of druzy, but the quartz is flush with it, so it kind of looks like an eye, and it's really, really powerful. I've had it for a very long time, so I wanted to access those quantum realms, the violet flame, those kinds of spaces for your reading today. I'm using a brand new deck called the Time Traveler's Oracle by Denise Lynn, who makes some pretty incredible oracle decks, and the Muse Tarot by Chris Ann. So cards have been pre-shuffled. I'm just going to get the overall energy from the Time Traveler's Oracle for Pisces. Thank you, Spirit. Well, can't get any better than this one. Number 1, abundance. The Hanging Gardens of Babylon. Isn't that spectacular? It's the very first card, number 1, which corresponds to the Magician in the major arcana of the tarot. The Magician is the master manifester. So Pisces, you're on top of it. Well, I wanted to curse just now. I wanted to be, you're on top of your, you know what, you're just on top of things, and kicking butt and taking names. I don't know why I want to do a lot of cursing. I don't know what that's about. Maybe you were really happy when you saw the abundance card and just a lot of expletives came out. I don't know. I don't know what that's about. I'm immediately drawn to the reflection in the water. Right? The reflection in the water here. It suggests to me, it's almost like this, and I want to bend the card in half. I'm not going to, of course, but it's like I want to bend the card in half. I don't know why. It's important. It's this mirroring energy that's really, really important. It's reminding me actually of my friend, my online friend, Stephanie at I Scry with Steph. If you haven't subscribed to her page, please do. She's an artist and a medium and a psychic and a tarot reader, and she's wonderful. And she makes imagery, like kind of Rorschach imagery with ink, and then she presses it together and unravels it, and then she scries that, she interprets that image. And for some reason, I just wanted to, it's as if you dropped the ink and folded the page, and when it opened up, this abundance appeared, this lushness. But there's something to this reflective energy, almost like Spirit is saying the word disbelief. Like you're looking at a mirage, like you're looking at an illusion. Am I experiencing the real thing, or is this just real life, or is this just fantasy? No escape from reality. You know, that's the beginning of the song Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen. Is this the real life, or is this just fantasy? Caught in a landslide. No escape from reality. That's interesting. I don't know why Spirit would bring me that song, because in this, I love that song. I mean, it's Bohemian Rhapsody, it's classic, but no escape from reality. Those particular lines feel cynical in this context. Almost like a Pisces out there is saying, I could never have abundance like that. Like, you know what I mean? Like doubt, cynicism. That's for other people. That's not for me. It's just illusion. I think that part of quantum jumping, or the idea, which is that we create our reality, right? And with our consciousness, and once we decide that our reality is going to be something different, it shall be so. Very hard thing to master, because the ego center of our brain, the monkey mind center of our brain, wants to keep us kind of no escape from reality, right? Trapped. It causes you to doubt. And the quantum realm can be about science, or it can be about spirit. But any way you look at it, it feels like magic. And suspending disbelief in order to believe. So I'm not going to stop anybody from saying that they claim this abundance. And Spirit wants you to really imagine very, very deliberately that this kind of abundance is made for you. Excuse me, I'm sorry I'm clearing my throat so much. I've been having some issues with that for the past, I want to say 4 or 5 months. And I don't know if it's like perimenopause. I mean, there's like any women that are going through perimenopause and menopause, it's like there are an infinite number of symptoms and one can never really know. But I also tie it into energies that don't necessarily want me to deliver messages. And so I always have to kind of rally against them and say, no, I'm delivering Spirit's messages. So 4 cards for the base spread, 4 cards for clarifier, past, present, future, and advice from Spirit regarding your journey into the next quantum dimension of your life, into the next phase of your life, that you're up leveling because you've gone through some stuff, you've had some experiences. Lots of cards in the reverse came out for you. One more. Wow, that was too many. It was like 9 cards came out, and I'm only going to take one. One card, please, Spirit, for the final card. Thank you. Wow. Okay. So, right off the bat, love to see it in reverse. 5 of materials, 5 of pentacles. 5 of Pentacles, 5 of Materials talks about a sense of alienation and isolation. It's this idea that we're perhaps grasping at something, that we want to be a part of something. I often see this as a kind of portal or a stage, wanting to be a part of the show, wanting to be a part of what everyone else is looking at. And because you're not in that space, you feel left out. And Spirit is showing me that in your past energy, you overcame that feeling. It's not to say that you suddenly became a part of the group you were kind of pining after, but it perhaps is telling me that you changed your mind about what it was that you thought was important. So, what's a grounded example? Let's say there's this group of people, like a clique at work that you wanted to be a part of because they just seemed really cool, and they were going out and hanging out at a bar after work, and you just wanted to be invited, but you were like never invited, and you felt left out. And then maybe you walked by that bar one day and you just saw all of them acting like absolute a-holes, and you thought, you know what? They can have that. I don't need that in my life. I don't need that kind of energy. I'm trying to surround myself with high vibrational people. Right, that's just an example. But it's kind of like that. It's like looking at something from the outside. Maybe this feeling, looking at something from the outside and realizing, okay, maybe I'm left out of that particular thing for a reason, because maybe there's something better waiting for me. But it was difficult for you to access that information. High Priestess in reverse. High Priestess is Pisces energy. So Pisces, you showed up in your own reading, but you showed up in reverse, in the past energy. Kind of tells me a couple things, but the first thing it tells me is that we may not have been listening to our intuition. That we just wanted to be a part of something so badly that we sacrificed what our inner guidance system could have been telling us about that situation. Of course, we have free will. Maybe the ego was speaking a little bit more strongly, perhaps because we felt lonely or isolated. Right? So I do see, I'm sorry, I'm feeling something itchy. I feel like an itchiness on the side of my face. So maybe you have a bug bite on the left side of your face, or I don't think it's my hair. It's just, it's bothering me. So maybe if I talk about it, it'll go away. The High Priestess sits at the veil between worlds, all knowing, all seeing, but says nothing. In the tarot, she's notoriously mute. It's walking into a room and understanding the energy that you're working with, the people, the surroundings. Spirit is showing me an example of that to illustrate to you, which is, you know, I live outside of a major city, and I take the subway, and if I get into a subway car and I feel like the energy is off for any reason, I'll get right off the car, or I'll get off at the next stop and I'll get back on into another car of the train. I don't mess around with that. I don't care if it makes me late. I don't care. If I feel like something's about to pop off, if something is about to go down, if I just don't like the vibe, I get off the train, or I get out of that car and I go on to another one. I have let 4 or 5 trains pass me before I get on. I don't get on until I feel comfortable. That's the kind of High Priestess energy I'm talking about. It's just, it may not make any sense in a rational way, but to the gut, you follow it. And whatever this situation was in the past could have been difficult. You could have been, you know, I just heard the word peer pressure, the words peer pressure. It's like, I'm getting like fraternity, sorority vibes. So that might be something that you're a part of or appeals to you. Like exclusivity, like exclusive clubs, exclusive circles. That from the outside may seem really appealing, but in your heart of hearts, it's not really what you want. Actually, I'm going to pull a clarifier. This is all in the past energy, right? And maybe this is what you're kind of up-leveling from. Maybe it stems from this sense of never feeling like you fit in. Oh, sorry. Card fell on the floor. The 8 of Inspiration. Fast action, fast communication. But whenever I see this particular card, this came out for Cancer too, actually. I feel as though there's so much resistance. You're trying to up-level, right? It's almost as if these are the multiple versions of you, and you're trying to up-level. But it's like this like bungee cord or this rubber band or this like gate of some kind is trying to hold you back. There's resistance here, and yet your stride, it's like I call this my Tina Turner card. It's because it reminds me of Tina Turner, the singer. Your stride is dominant, it's aggressive, it's determined, but you're meeting a lot of resistance. So whatever situation this was referring to in the past, where you felt like you didn't fit in or left out of something, you got over it and you're pushing forward, but you may have had to overcome a lot of thoughts or a lot of people in your ear telling you what you should want, telling you what you should like, how you should be, how you should dress, how you should behave, blah, blah, blah. Why fit in when you were born to stand out? Yeah. Present energy, 9 of Inspiration. Here you are standing out. Why fit in when you were born to stand out? 9 of Inspiration, 9 of Wands, resiliency, tenacity. It's so dynamic, isn't it? Her dress, there's so much fire energy, there's so much passion. Even the colors, right? The colors are so active and sultry. It might be uncomfortable for a Pisces who is usually a little bit more subdued, a little bit more dreamy. This one is just stepping forward and being really assertive. It is clarified by the 3 of Inspiration in reverse, 3 of Wands in reverse. 3 of Wands can sometimes talk about waiting, making a decision and then waiting for results, waiting for ships to come in. But when the card is in reverse, it's almost like, okay, now the motion has started, the dominoes have been kicked over. We're kind of stirring things up. I see this as your present energy, Pisces. You're kind of making a splash, but in a way that people aren't going to anticipate from you. Maybe they just assume that you're going to be this like watery, kind of flowy energy, and you're just like, au contraire. I almost see this as fame, being in the spotlight. Being in the spotlight. That might make some people uncomfortable. I just felt that energy, like, ooh, I don't want to be in the spotlight. But I think it's about being bold, assertive, trying out a new kind of garment, trying out a new, Spirit just said personality, but it's not in the way that you think. It's not like you have to change your personality, but it's more about, in this process of up-leveling yourself, of stepping into a new reality. In order to step into a new reality, we have to kind of become a new version of ourselves. So we're still us at the core of who we are. We're just bringing out the most dynamic parts of who we are, allowing them to come to the surface, to become the flesh is what I just heard. That's a strange way to put it. To come into the flesh. It's like you shed a skin, and now this new skin is something that is, even my hand gestures want to be very exaggerated. Like talking with my hands, taking up space. It's what I feel that you want to take up some space, right? There's that abundance, right? Abundance of presence. Let me get a clarifier for the 9 of inspiration. 5 of inspiration in reverse. You know, I'm just going to say it short and sweet. You're getting out of your own way. 5 of inspiration can talk about chaos and conflict and us kind of basically stepping all over ourselves to try and attain some kind of illusory goal. But you're getting out of your own way. You're saying, I'm not staying in that energy where I'm fighting against my ego, fighting against myself, fighting against my fear. I'm just not doing it anymore. Who has time for it? I'm going to take all of that energy and put it to good use, stepping through this kind of portal and just making myself known. Even this color is echoing in the background in the sky here. It's like the whole world around you, right, is like being tailor-made to you. That's true quantum jumping. That is, you're creating your reality. So that's awesome. That makes sense to me why the abundance card would come out right now, because that's how you're feeling. You're not apologizing for it, is what I just heard. Why would you have to apologize for it? Could have some detractors, people that want to hold you back. That's honestly, it's natural. We're going right before we make the grand breakthrough in life, or several breakthroughs. You always meet a little bit of resistance. That's the lesson. Spirit is going to show you some resistance so that you kind of build your muscle to break through it. And in this particular case, I feel like you're having to break through criticism. People putting doubt into your ear. I feel that really strongly, because I just see this as like kind of, it feels like antenna, like on a bug, and it's just kind of creepy crawly and just pervasive, invasive. And you're just having to kind of burst through that energy and saying, no, 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 I'm going to shine. I'm going to stand tall and proud. Despite having been through everything I've been through, right? You got the 8 of inspiration first, and then we graduate to the 9 of inspiration. This is so beautiful. In the future potential, 3 of emotions, 3 of cups in reverse, 6 of voices, 6 of swords in the reverse. So I immediately saw this as the peanut gallery, the detractors, right? Stirring the emotions, making you kind of feel, trying to make you feel some kind of way about it. And I see this kind of falling away now because the card is in reverse. In the future potential, you're just allowing that criticism and those people to kind of just slowly exit your life. You're not really paying it any mind anymore. But it could be difficult. I do see another kind of push, and I don't know why I keep saying push. I honestly see a kind of like you as the baby going through the proverbial quantum birth canal. And not to be graphic about it, but like it's like Spirit is going to give you one last challenge Six of Voices, Six of Swords is moving away from choppy waters to calm waters. So when the card is in reverse, it tells me that there's still a little bit of stagnancy. You know, when I just said I don't want to have to apologize for it, this is where I feel it propping up in the potential future outcome, a potential future instance that people are gonna, you know, it's like you come into abundance and then people are gonna make you feel guilty about it. It's like this idea when somebody makes it into the big leagues. Hometown girl or boy wanting to go into the big city and have the big job, and I'm just using that as a kind of archetypal example. And then they could become really successful because they didn't want to stay in, and there's nothing wrong with small town, I'm not saying that, but it's just like an example that they didn't want to stay where they were. They wanted to branch out, they wanted to learn something new, they wanted to become a different version of themselves. And then once you experience that abundance, once you experience success, then the people from your hometown are just like, oh, Pisces has changed. You've changed. To which you should respond, and this is not spirit, this is just me saying this, good. Thank you. That's a compliment. Because I was a good person before and now I'm spectacular, right? I don't want to be the same. I'm trying to up-level myself. And you know what? This is great. Let's keep going. I'm so grateful for this abundance. Let's keep going. How can we make it even better? I'm going to clarify the Three of Emotions and the Six of Voices in reverse. One card, please, Spirit. The deck is very chaotic. The Star. Number 17 in the Major Arcana. Aquarius energy, and it represents wish fulfillment and healing. You're getting what you want, which is fantastic. However, I see this as a leftover of, it's like this, right? This triangular energy. It's like the thing that you are being asked to heal is the small limiting beliefs. Thank you. Because I was going to say the small-minded mentality, but that's a different connotation. Not small-mindedness, no. Limiting beliefs. Limiting beliefs about yourself and what you're capable of, what you're worthy of, right? Limiting beliefs means you think everything is an illusion and outside of your reality, right? But when you let go of that limiting belief, it becomes your reality. What is the advice from Spirit? The Hierophant in reverse and the Three of Swords in reverse. Limiting beliefs. The Three of Swords is the toughest card in the deck. You can see here, let's just look at this for a second. You can see here this person is sitting on the other side of like a locked or closed door. Tears coming from the eyes, just everything bearing down, kind of bare and exposed, vulnerable, weak, and if only one could see, they just had to step out of that shadow and into the light to be able to find freedom. Three of Swords, Three of Voices talks about heartache and heartbreak. disappointment. It's in reverse. This is Spirit's advice. The Spirit is saying there's one thing in particular. There's something particular in terms of your limiting beliefs. It could have been something that somebody said to you when you were a kid one time, and you just held on to that. Like the hurt child in you just held on to that for like your whole life. And Spirit is asking you to release that. It's the fly in the ointment, they just said. Hierophant, number 5 in the major arcana. Taurus energy, and it represents this connection to the divine. From the earth to the divine. The liaison between the two. Hierophant also talks about structure, rules and regulations, and expectation. And Spirit is saying, release that now. Release expectation. You know, it's okay. I'll give you like a very succinct example of these two cards together. It's something I hear often. Not in my own head, but by somebody who really, really loves me. I think they do. They really love me, but they live in a space of fear. And so whenever I say I'm going to go out and do something, it's always a comment like, well, you know it's going to rain this afternoon. Or, you know that the sun's setting early, so it's going to be dark, right? Like, I'm an adult. It's kind of, you know, like I can be discerning, and I can make a decision of what I deem safe and not safe, or appropriate or not appropriate. But fear instills limiting beliefs. So if there's a function that I want to go to, but it may or may not rain at 6 o'clock when the function is happening, am I just going to stay inside for the rest of my life because it's raining? You can't stop your life because of a fear like that. So what if it's raining? I'll take an umbrella. There's a way to adapt. Now, if it's a hurricane outside, we're talking about another situation. But it's stuff like that. And somebody could have just said something to you one time, and from that moment on, you just never did that thing. That's actually happened yesterday. I was in a conversation with some coworkers, and one of the guys that works for me, said that everyone in his family is artistic except for him. So when he was younger, he used to do graffiti because it was kind of this way for him to be artistic, but he didn't have any drawing ability and whatever. And I said, well, what do you mean you didn't? Like, I'm sure you're talented or whatever. And he said, no, I know I'm not, because my grandfather asked me to draw me and my cousins and my siblings to draw something, and everybody else's was beautiful and mine was not so good. And my grandfather said, oh, maybe you shouldn't, oh, this is not for you. And from that moment on, it was like, he never tried again. Words have power, man. Words have power. So really try to explore that. What are your limiting beliefs? And how can you get rid of them so you can usher in this time of abundance for yourself? Jump into that new existence. So that's your reading, Pisces. I hope that it resonated. If it did, please like, share, subscribe, comment down below. Please hit the bell notification to be updated as to when I post new readings. Thank you, Pisces.